Welcome into another edition of Sports Junkies. I'm Sparky Fifer. Gery Woelfel, and I'm Coach the Coach. Tom Aldrich from Burlington Catholic Central, where we're broadcasting live. The football game against St. Joe's will not be played here in the gymnasium. They will be played outside, what is it called, Topper Bowl?
Yep, Topper Bowl.
Topper Bowl, which is a very unique football field. If you've never seen a game here, it's very, very cool. Highly recommend seeing it. Coming up again Friday night, two undefeateds in the conference at least. Burlington Catholic Central and St. Joe's. You come off beating St. Cat's, well, it was at 40-21. Now, I looked at the box score. The game was much closer than what the score actually indicates. It was, 5-point game, something like that, midway through the third quarter, and then you guys pulled away there for the rest of the game.
Yeah, it was evenly matched teams. I thought that St. Catherine's was well prepared. They did some things we weren't expecting, but our kids persevered and came back in the third quarter and were able to get a lead and pull it out.
Now, about that, Cole Kreskin is the leading rusher in the conference. He's got 1,097 yards. You look at the box score, I don't think he had 50 yards rushing necessarily in that game,
yeah.
But instead the quarterback takes over and has over 200 yards rushing and 5 touchdowns. I don't think St. Cat saw that one coming.
No, and if you watch the game film, it's like there was a lot of guys that were looking for Cole, and they did a great job of shutting him down, and we were able to counter with Ben, and Ben did a fantastic job answering the call.
Now, as a coach coming in, it's a chess match, obviously. You know what the defense is going to try to do to counter your team. Were you thinking that far ahead in advance that, hey, they're going to try to shut down Kreskin? I would imagine most teams do.
Yeah, most teams have tried to. Thankfully they haven't been very successful, but St. Cat's, they were able to, and so we've always got a plan. And Mike Vanderbeek, the offensive coordinator for us, he did a nice job of recognizing what they were doing and trying to counter with it. And we've run Ben in the past, but with the way they were keying on Cole, it made it a lot easier for us.
Yeah. I want to go back a little bit. We'll talk more about your team, but what brought you here to coach at Catholic Central? You've been here a few years now, but I mean, what was the development of that situation?
Well, that's a long story, but I'm an
the
alumni.
Condensed version, yeah.
I'm an alumni, and
right.
Then I played at Carthage, and Augie Schmidt, who was the defensive coordinator at Carthage when I was there,
yeah.
He got the head coaching job, and he was looking for an offensive coordinator, and he approached me and asked me to be, and I accepted, and then he stepped down after a couple of years, and he was the AD as well, and asked me if I wanted to be the head coach, and I took the job.
Yeah. I mean, did you ever see that in your plans growing up? That, hey,
no.
I'd come back to my alma mater and
I can't
be
say
the head coach?
Never thought of it, really, to be honest with you. But.
Okay, well, let's talk about that for a second, man, because you and I were talking about it before we started the video, and I told you I was going to bring it up. If you go and you look at the official enrollment, you guys are 181 students. This is a high school. That's not senior class. That's the whole high school. It's 181 students. And I'm amazed by how you can keep a high level for your football program year in and year out. I mean, it's tough for even basketball, and basketball is playing with less kids than football. You look at other schools that are much larger, yeah, you may not have as many talented classes, but you still have a chance to get those 2 or 3 kids that you need. You're talking about 1,000 kids in a high school. When you're talking about this small of a situation here, the 181 kids, I don't want to make this sound too over the top because I'm sitting next to them, but to me, it just exemplifies how good your coaching staff is to be able to keep the program where it is year in and year out.
Yeah, I'm blessed to have a staff that's been around me that's very good, not only football-wise, but just dealing with kids at that age. And we've been around together for, I don't know, most of them it's 15-plus years.
Is that right?
So we're kind of on the same page,
Sure.
and that helps. But it's also the leadership, I think, from the kids. We've been blessed to have a lot of great kids come through, but they buy into what we're trying to sell. And it's not just the football aspect. It's the things that we think are going to help them be successful in life through the game of football, but that, there's a lot of ancillary things that we bring into it to try and promote that.
Well, the other thing, too, is this. Every time, I get a chance to talk to a high school coach, and let's say it's a high school coach in, Greenfield or McGuanago or Muskego. Well, those are one-school towns for the most part, right? So you could talk about feeder programs and feeding in and having your offense run all the way through. What is the situation like at Burlington Catholic Central? I can't imagine you probably have that same luxury.
No, we don't. We've got kids from a bunch of different communities that come here. We're the only Catholic high school in the area, so we draw some from Elkhorn, Waterford, New Munster, East Troy, Burlington.
Okay.
So we get a couple kids here and there. So it's almost like, from a college prep standpoint, it's almost like a college atmosphere where you're drawing kids in from different areas. So we spend a lot of time trying to get those kids to be cohesive and become a team as well as just playing the game. So we don't have a feeder program where they play the same system, which isn't bad because then if they've been in other systems, as far as being a football player, they're a little more well-rounded and knowing some background of different things.
Well, then, again, I'm going to make another assumption, and I'm going to be wrong, but I'm going to make it anyhow. Arrowhead, right? King of the Hill.
Exactly.
Over the course of time with Tarasca's head coach, and now the latest head coach, you're talking about a program that literally has families moving to Heartland or to that area from, Oconomowoc, from Hartford. They're picking up and moving their families there, and their parents will drive so their kids can play in their sports programs there, right? Well, you're King of the Hill, obviously, in this division, and what you've done, are you seeing the benefits of that at all from kids coming from different areas saying, I want to come there to play there because they know that we're going to win if I play for Coach Aldrich and that program?
I'd like to think so, but I don't believe so.
No?
I think that we have, again, the big selling point here is the faith-based education. The sports, does it help draw kids? Yeah, but they have to really, they have to buy into the rest of the program or they're not going to be happy here. But in today's society, I think athletics is a drawing card no matter what. Yeah. So you can't deny that, but I don't think we see them coming here specifically for football or volleyball or basketball or baseball.
You don't think your tradition, though, of football, where I think you've won, 5 state championships here? Something like 5 or 6 or whatever, somewhere in that ballpark. That tradition doesn't carry over and saying, hey, to a kid, hey, this is a appealing place to go, especially if I'm a Catholic individual, I mean.
I guess it might, but I don't look at it that way.
Bear here.
It could, but I think that's you got to prove yourself every day. I mean,
sure.
So you can't rest on your past laurels, and I think it's important that we, from the kid's standpoint and the parent's standpoint, it's not cheap to come here. I mean, you got to pay a tuition, and it's so there has to be a commitment level, and that helps too. Is I think kids that do come here, they have the parental support that they want them to be involved in a lot of things, academics, athletics, extracurricular events, could be the school play, could be whatever. So I mean, it's a great school that we allow kids to do a lot of different things and develop in many ways. And again, I think that helps for the well-roundedness. If you have a well-rounded kid, they're going to be a better athlete for you.
Talk about your weight program, obviously, and how important that is, especially when you're talking about a smaller group of students here in the school. The students that you do have that are playing, obviously, are going to have to be bulked up a little bit because you need them to stay on the field.
Yeah, it's just like every other school, it's an ongoing problem, trying to get kids in the weight room because of the fact that they're here, a lot of them are multi-sport athletes. It makes it even more and more difficult. We've developed a program that it's not really weightlifting specific that we call Topper Pride. It's run in the morning and the afternoons where it's agility, core, endurance, weightlifting, so a bunch of different things that it's a half-hour to 40-minute program that we expect the athletes to do twice a week when they're in season. Then out of season, they'll also be weightlifting on top of that. And the kids have bought into it. I think they see the benefits, not so much from the bulking up, but staying healthy. And when you have small numbers like we do, health is important.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, Tom, I was at a golf outing in Kenosha, and I chatted with a father of a player on your team, and he said one of the things that really impressed him was how you get the parents involved in the program. And he said at the beginning of the season, you invite the father to join the son, I guess, and then these fathers, correct me if I'm wrong, get up and give a little talk about their son or vice versa. Can you maybe expand on that and tell us about that?
Yeah, it's well, I try to treat this program like a family, and we do try to involve the parents as much as we can. And for it's a father, basically it's a jersey night, where the night before the first game, the fathers present the kids with their jersey
That's awesome.
for the first game, and the dads get up and they speak to their sons, tell them what they mean to them, tell them what playing football means to them. And it's a great. You get chills watching it. Some of the guys get emotional, and it's great for the kids to see their dads care enough to speak like that in public about them, and it's a great affirmation.
Well, this father I was talking to got emotional telling me the story.
Yeah.
And he said that when he did get up there, he said he broke down. He started crying. So I
Not
mean,
the only one. So.
Right?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty rare though. I mean, I follow high school athletics for a number of years. I've never heard of a situation like that.
And then we have something. We have a mother-son mass and breakfast during the year too, and then
Now what is that about?
Then they go to mass, and after mass we have a breakfast. But then the boys get up and they talk about their moms and tell them how much they love them. So it's it gets them out of that comfort zone where they got to do something. But it's neat. It's just.
Isn't that what coaching for you is all about, though? I mean, the essence of it.
Oh yeah, it's the relationships with the kids and trying to make them grow and become better people. And the football's, it's a game, and we all love to play games and win, but there's so much more to it than just.
All right, I'll go back to your team here because there are a couple of things I'm blown away by. Hurdle Novasic, is that how I say it?
Parental Novasic.
Oh boy, I killed it. I'm sorry.
Take two.
Just tell me if this is right. Is he 5'5"?
Yep.
131 pounds. In that area?
Yeah, in that area.
Generous, 131.
9.5 sacks?
Quick as lightning.
Dude, I'm 5'6". There's no way I'm getting the quarterback 9 times. How? He leads your team in sacks? Is that right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. He's extremely quick, he's fearless, and just does his job, and he's got a motor that doesn't stop.
That's crazy. Other things that I've taken away from this. Listen to this. I'm sure he knows this, but listen to the quarter-by-quarter scoring this year. 89 points in the first quarter for Catholic Central. Their opponents have scored 20. In the second quarter, they've scored 111. Their opponents have scored 20. In the third quarter, they've scored 88. Their opponents have scored 28. And in the fourth quarter, Tom Aldrich pretty much tells them to take a knee, so they're even 28-28 in the fourth because game's over by that point anyhow. It don't even matter. I mean, but seriously, I mean, when you're rolling people like you're rolling people, and I don't know how much you watch Junkies, but at the beginning of the year, we started seeing your scores, and we're going, whoa. Because normally you guys start a little slow, and then the ball starts rolling, and you could tell by the end of the year you're ready for the playoffs. When you started doing what you did at the beginning of the year, Gery and I both looked at each other and said, oh boy, he's got something going right now. But how do you kind of keep their interest? I mean, this week, obviously, you have it at St. Joe's. They're undefeated in conference. I get that. For the rest of the year prior to leading up to the playoffs.
Well, we, as a staff, we pretty much stress it's not about the outcome of the game isn't important. It's the fact that we get better from wherever we were last week. I mean, the goal is to get better. I mean, I'm sure every coach preaches that and teaches it, but it's something that we really hang our hats on, and we try to evaluate at that, and we're honest with the kids if we think we've gotten better or not, and it kind of makes the focus not so much on the opponent as us as a team internally getting better, and it's worked for us. So
that's awesome. So St. Joe's, Kenosha to St. Joe's, and you guys at the Topper, and it's a very unique field. If you've never been here, you got to have to check it out. JP Cadorn, I believe, the Time Warner 32 is doing a feature on you guys as well. So looking forward to seeing that. Are you guys going to be their game of the week on 32 or no?
I don't know.
You don't know.
You have more pressing issues, right?
JP tweeted out the other day, I finally get to go see what this Topper Bowl is all about. He's all excited.
Let me ask you one quick question on the game Friday night. What is going to be the most important factor for you to come out on top here?
I think, the cliches in football, I think, are so accurate. You can go through the things of taking care of the football, everything else, but really it's up front.
Yeah.
I think we have to control the game up front. Skilled athletes-wise, I think we're comparable. I think our skilled athletes are very good football players. Their skilled athletes are just exceptional athletes. They're also good football players. So it's going to be I think that's the scenario. We're hoping that we can win the battle up front, and then we think we'll be all right. But they're not. Obviously, they're trying to win the battle up front
Should
too.
be a heck of a game.
I would think so.
Yeah. Looking forward to coming up Friday night. He is Coach Tom Aldrich here at Burlington Catholic Central. We'll talk to you next time here at Sports Junkies at RacineSportsZone.com.